Hi! Today we're gonna have fun with making a scrunchy hairband, and I've got this old, very nasty looking plastic hairband that was part of another craft project that didn't really work, as you can see. Then I've got this nice and lovely green glitter fabric that is just beautiful. It's cut in a shape where it's narrow here at one end and then it widens out where the folds are, and I've got two layers of fabric here. And then I've got this padded material that is actually used kind of inside quilts, but I just thought that could be nice to pad this hairband with, because it's not going to be really comfortable to wear, and it could be good to have a little bit of padding on it before the scrunchy part goes on. So I'm just kind of rolling this on bit by bit, and it's yeah, it kind of sticks actually, because it's almost got this kind of Velcro feel to it. So that's easy enough, and I'm almost at the end, and that fits quite well. So I'm just going to stitch it on by hand to make sure that it stays where it is. And I'm just going to use some green thread here, because this is going to be inside, so nobody's going to be able to see it. And I've got a really big needle with a big hole in it, so that I don't have to take ages trying to thread it while sitting here with you watching. So a knot on. This doesn't have to look pretty. Again, this is being hidden inside. So just stitching it close here so the end bit doesn't go anywhere. And also just at the bottom so it doesn't open up. Yeah, doesn't look very pretty as it is, but this is fine. Like so, and then I will just do the last bit on the other side and knot again. And there's not that much that needs to be stitched up here, because this is where we've begun, so it's almost kind of closed on itself. But just to be sure, I'm stitching it up anyways, because I don't want it to move inside here. Cool. Cool. And now I'm just going to stitch this last bit up, and done. Away with the thread and needle for now. Beautiful. I'm just going to test it out. It's really, really soft and nice, and that's actually the problem sometimes with hairbands, that you get really uncomfortable, that they hurt your head, but this feels good. And then it's time to make the beautiful outside part of this hairband. And I'm putting these two pieces of fabric, folding them on, or putting them on top of each other. And this fabric is a bit flimsy. It really wants to move. So I'm normally not one for putting in too many wonder clips or pins, but I'm actually going to do it in this case, because this really wants to move on me. I can feel that. Basically what we want to do is just to keep one end open to put it in through, and that's all. So I'm going to stitch all the way around and down here and up again, and then having this bit open so I can put the hairband in through that hole. When I get to the bottom corner, bottom end here on one side where I'm actually going to stitch it, I'm going to round it a tiny little bit to not have any sharp edges. it's not the most beautiful seam or seam allowance all the way on it, but yeah, but this material just moves so much, so that is simply just how it is. We still have one open bit, and I'm just gonna push it through all the way. Luckily this is quite easy because this fabric is really slippery, so it just slides through. And we've got this kind of a sock, and then you can just do this. Very easy. So this is what we end with for now. And then this bit is going inside. Pretty! It's almost done. Feels very close to being done. But I need to close up the open end, and then I'm going to attach it certain places to the padding inside with needle and some thread, just to make it stay in place. And that's why it's quite good that we have the padding inside, so we have something to actually stitch it onto. And let's get started with that. So I'm going to fold the raw edges of this in, and then I'm just going to put the needle into it, so I also hide the knot on the inside, and then I will make some stitches just to close it up so the raw edges are inside of it. So now it's closed, and I can pull it up towards the end of the hairband, and this is when you can actually fold the bottom bit in. Okay, this is this is a little bit hard because I don't want to keep it too open. I don't want to break it. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. But I'm going to attach. I'm going to pull the fabric all the way to the end of the hairband, and then I'm going to stitch it on here onto the padding that is inside it. And because I'm using a green color thread, so you won't be able to see this, so I'm just doing this quite quickly. Yes, it is secured in place, and you can take the ends of the hairband or the fabric and get them closer to the hairband if you don't want some big bits kind of flapping around. You can do that. Just securing the thread and cutting that off, then doing the other side. So I'm pulling on the fabric tube so it's all the way at the end of the hairband, and then again just attach. Wow, okay, that knot didn't work. Attaching it to the padding inside. So now the ends are secure, and I'm just going to place the scrunchie material so it's evenly distributed, and then I'm just going to use the rest of the thread to simply go in through the inside here. So I put the needle. What? Oh dear. Oops. So I just put the needle in, get it through some material and some padding, and just that will make sure that the scrunchie material stays in place and doesn't move about too much. But this is not difficult to do. Please don't think that this is something you can't do. It's just that it does want to move a bit, so it can be a little bit hard to see what I'm doing. Just doing some kind of big stitches here, all the way on the inside, and nobody will see this afterwards. It will be so fine. And then make sure that you keep the scrunchie material in place. Oops. Keep the scrunchie material in place all along. And be sure when you're doing this that you actually also reach the padding inside it, so you don't just only stitch through the scrunchie material, but also make it stick to the padding inside. Cool. There are many ways you can do these hairband scrunchies, and this is just one of the ways to do it, and this is quite a quick way and didn't take much time, and I'm definitely going to be working on more of these to see if I can also perfect this technique. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.